Now, one of the biggest things that we've got outside of doing the radio thing, we actually have a record label, slash production company, Seven City Recordings, and our premier artist is a cat named Mike Lord, who's a cat that's actually been around. He used to be down with a crew called the Dirt Does, and they had a little joint on Immortal Records back in the mid-90s. But anyway, we ended up hooking up with Mike Lord, and we're doing some things with him right now in the studio. Son is extremely nice on the microphone. And also we got my man Mac the Menace, who's a cat that's been with us for years, and we got 456, and my man Lonnie B out of Richmond down with the Super Friends, and we linked them all up and we formed the Buddah Fam. And this is the stable of artists that we've linked up with, that we're trying to put out on our label and bring, make some noise for VA. It's taken us this long to do it because, going back to like what I was saying before, if we are going to make a contribution to hip hop, I'm sorry, I could just go out here and be like, yo, the hell with this, I'm gonna get the dough and just throw a Cristal MC up there and clone what everybody else is doing, and, but we all are kind of on the same page where, yeah, we want to get the money, but I can't feed cats the same regurgitation they be getting over and over again, and we got to hit cats with something different, something that's real, something creative. And now a lot of business-minded people, like if I was to say this in the corporate boardroom of a major label, they would think I was crazy. You must be out your damn mind. You better color by numbers like everybody else and get this dough. But that's honestly not how we feel. Fortunately for us, we're in radio right now. That's another path that we have. I recently was made assistant program director of 103 Jam's sister station, WBHH 92.1. Station doing big things. Yet another hip hop voice now for the 757.
No doubt, and they keep it gangster. They keep it ghetto.
Everything. And of course that station is basically programmed by myself and DJ Heart Attack. And there is no other station like WBHH 92.1. There's no other station like it in the country that pays special attention to hip hop in its purest form, without all the watered down garbage and interpretations of what real hip hop is. We try and keep it uncut to the gut, straight to the dome. You have to understand one thing, man. And DC is a prime example of this. You have to understand, these major radio stations, your KYS's and your PGC's, these radio stations are basically big corporate run stations, and again, they are not interested in breaking new records and breaking new artists and being multi-dimensional radio stations and being regarded as super creative. They're there to sell advertising time. Therefore, the mentality of these program directors that run these stations is, I'm going to play hits. That's what we're here for. They don't feel like that the street is very important. They don't feel like the cats in the street, they don't mean nothing. Cats in the street don't get diaries, and if they do, they don't fill them out and send them back. Speaking of Arbitron diaries. Therefore, do not direct your radio station programming at the street. You direct it at women, and you direct it at the mainstream.
And there's many of women up there.
But see, the way they look at it is, let's say women like, you don't have to call about Usher. Can you tell we're beating that Usher record to death? I keep bringing it up. But anyway, he's a prime example. You don't have to call about Usher. In a program director's mind, women want to hear this song. So they feel like if a woman gets in her car and she turns it on and the radio comes on and Usher is not playing, or a song she's not familiar with is not playing, that immediately she's going to click out and go to the other station. And if the other station is playing Usher, that's where she's going to stay. I agree with that to an extent, and here I'm in a vast minority because I don't think there's anybody else in this country that thinks like this. But the revolution got to start somewhere. I believe, and I've seen time and time and time again, that the streets are important, because if the streets endorse your radio station, the mainstream will automatically endorse it. You know why? Because look throughout history, from the 1950s, from the birth of rock and roll, the mainstream always rides the dick of the streets. They always copy the streets. And if cats in the streets are saying, this station is hot, this station is banging, then the mainstream is also going to come along and say, yeah, I listen to 103, yeah, that's hot, that's hot, right? That's hot, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Program directors don't see that. Again, I'm like the only cat I know that thinks like that, so I could be wrong, but every instinct in me tells me that, nah, If you really want to win urban radio, get the respect of the streets, and all the rest is going to follow. The problem is some stations don't have the time to attract the streets. 103 Jams, we've been here for so long with no competition, and we've been able to do what the hell we wanted to for so long that we've established expectations from our listeners that 103 Jams is going to bring us the street shit. 103 Jams is going to bring us the new shit. 103 Jams is going to bring us that dance hall. They're going to bring us that old school. They're going to bring us something more than the same 7 records that you hear all across the country. I admit though, 103 Jams has that luxury because we've been able to do what we wanted to do so long that we've actually been able to mold our audience. It's interesting because we have some competition now who shall remain nameless, but we have some competition now that's following the straight hits formula. So we're getting ready to see which philosophy actually is correct. The multi-dimensional radio station or just the straight all we play is Usher all day radio station. See what I'm saying? That could be, monopoly is a really hard word. 103 Jams has been fortunate enough to maintain the loyalty of listeners throughout Hampton Roads for a lot of years, and 103 Jams is a heritage station. You go to many markets, you have heritage station. In New York, the heritage station is WBLS. In DC, the heritage station is WKYS. A lot of people think it's PVC, but it's actually KYS. In Philadelphia, it's Power 99. In Norfolk, Virginia, it's 103 Jams. People have come to expect certain things of 103 Jams, and provided we keep on delivering those things, I don't think 103 Jams can really be touched. That's not to say somebody can come in and take a little chunk of our market, a little piece of what we got going on, but they're gonna have to come strong, and I mean really strong, to really make an impact against 103, because 103 has proven time and time again we are in touch with the streets and we are in touch with what's really going on.
No doubt.
That's the bottom line, and there's nobody that can dispute that.
No doubt.
We're far more in touch with the streets than any other radio station that I've seen in the country, with the possible exception of Hot 97.
No doubt.
And that's only because they're right there
in NY.
You know what I'm saying?